This video is brought to you by Worlds of Aria. Want to experience the choice-driven thrills, betrayals, and hilarity of tabletop RPGs without all the setup? Then jump into Worlds of Aria, the cooperative RPG adventure full of twists, turns, and undoubtedly some natural ones to get your blood flowing. Choose from one of 12 characters and party with up to 3 of your friends via local or online multiplayer. Complete with a friend pass that only requires one person to own the game. Will you act together to try to solve the various fantasy scenarios, or embrace your inner wild card, betray them all at the last second, and possibly get uninvited to several upcoming weddings, birthday parties, and Arbor Day celebrations? Oh no. The choice is yours, but don't worry. You can replay scenes to discover their multiple endings and various secrets. So maybe Arbor Day is back on the table. Worlds of Aria launches on September 24th on PC, so head on over to the Steam page to learn more today.
Should have.
You're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Firelink podcast.
One second.
38. Oh my God, Eric.
You were all speaking at the same time. Start again for the audio version.
We were all speaking at the same time. I was the only one talking. What do you mean we were all speaking at the same time?
Is ruined.
Two of them were silent. They were dead silent. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Firelink podcast, episode number 38 for Wednesday, September 25th. 2024. My name is Marty Sleva. I'm joined by Casey Wosu, Nick Calandra, and Eric, who just got fired on the podcast. Eric, you did not get fired. You know how to do a million things that I do not understand and that scare me deeply, and I'm very sorry. My sass comes from love. Welcome, everyone.
It's the best place for sass.
Love sass. Love sass, baby. Yeah. How is everyone doing? Oh no! First, before I ask you how you're doing, I say we have a great show for you today, and then I make a joke about how it's not. Sometimes it's not a good show, but this time it is. But no, we're gonna be talking a lot of news is dropping this week because of not all, because it is TGS week, Tokyo Game Show week, and so some of the stuff is in the orbit of that. But we're going to talk about Sony's big state of play yesterday, which, in my opinion, contained the best of Sony and the worst of Sony. So we'll chat about that. A cool demo that just dropped that God knows I'm excited for, and also one of the biggest games of the fall, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was delayed until next year. And so we'll talk a little bit about that, why we think that is. And if its new date, hopefully, is a better sign for the game? Question mark. A delayed game is always good. A game that releases on time is usually shit. Miyamoto.
Yeah,
He said that.
He's got a tattoo on his back.
He said that to me in line at a Qdoba. How are you guys
I didn't
doing?
see you there.
Who are you guys doing? There's so many Qdobas. Just because we're both at Qdoba doesn't mean we're
all
at
of
the same
them all the
Qdoba.
time.
I'm only at the Tokyo Qdobas. How are you guys? Is everyone good?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that question.
We're all
just tell
I
you
feel
enough.
like we're all equally. We're alive. We have a roof
Yeah, that
over
is
our
true.
head.
We
have a
are
roof
alive.
over our head.
There's
The
no
world is
refuting that.
burning around us, but at least there's video games. So
I looked at the calendar today and I saw it was September 25th. And then I realized I've been in Nebraska for almost 3 weeks. And I'm like, how has it been that long already? And also, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be here another week.
Cornhuskers, am I right?
No, I hate the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
No, okay. He doesn't like the Cornhuskers. He's not husking.
Do you have tips for how they can husk corn better?
I moved to
To your
Iowa.
liking?
There's more corn.
There's more corn in Iowa?
Yeah, Nebraska's got more cows and poop, and Iowa's got corn.
Also, they're punching a hole in the ozone layer is what they're doing.
And then
You know
there's
that? Wisconsin has
cow
the happiest
tip.
cows. That's what they say. I read that in a pamphlet that Shigeru Miyamoto handed to me
in that Qdoba.
Man, I just spent a lot of time at Qdoba. What are you doing there?
No, it was just one very eventful.
Just that one time.
One very eventful outing, and I got to the front of the line and I asked for a BLT, and they asked me to leave. It was a real humbling moment at the Qdoba with my friend Shiggy-san. But yeah, we let's before we start off with our news story, because there's too much news to make jokes. I know we're 7 minutes into this, but forget about the last 7 minutes because there's too much news to make jokes. But before we get into it, thank you to everyone watching live on YouTube, listening on your podcast service of choice, watching the VOD. Appreciate you all. And remember, your memberships, your patronage, your YouTube membership, your Twitchies, you're just good vibes. Sharing a video, giving it a thumbs up means the world to us, including folks like Darwin's Dummy throwing $2 into the pot. Thank you so much, Darwin's Dummy. Sony, yada, yada. But what about the Sonic Showcase? Listen, I'm going to talk about the one and only one important thing from the Sonic Showcase. We have that as a news item today, so don't worry.
Did you watch that showcase?
The
Sonic one is really bad.
Sonic one? No.
It was deeply bad. It was like a 30-minute showcase. It took about 20 minutes to get to a game, like a regular game. And it was just the game we already knew existed. But the one thing, I'm going to tell you, they announced one thing I'm very excited for.
Okay.
And then
I'm excited because you're excited.
Thank you. Also, he was wearing
he's excited.
the Sonic brand manager was wearing an iced out Shadow the Hedgehog necklace. I want to know where I can get it.
Just any downtown city jewelry store is my guess.
Audience jewelry store. And then Orbiting Peanut with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Orbiting Peanut. We'll catch the VOD tomorrow while I hang with Helene. Thanks for being my little dose of escapism. Orbiting Peanut, our pleasure.
Are we supposed to know who Helene is?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, everybody knows who Helene is.
Yeah? Then who is it?
Don't worry about
Peanut knows.
If you have to ask, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're not hanging out with Helene, that's for sure.
I don't really want to Google it. I'm aware that weird things will come up.
Was that? Well, no, that was Helena, the name of the My Chemical Romance song.
Yeah,
that was
different person.
Absolutely different person. She was dead, but then she came back to life. So shouts to Helena. The big bit of news that dropped earlier today that we were referencing earlier is that Ubisoft has decided to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was originally set to release on November 15th this year. They are moving it a couple months to February 14th, Valentine's Day. That was just announced via a little tweet with a little image saying pretty much, the normal stuff for a delay. They said the game is done. Well, I guess there's two different stories because there was also you can't talk about this, Casey. There was an internal memo that leaked. There was an internal memo that leaked of Yves Guillemot, what he sent to the staff after this, pretty much saying, touching on a couple things of we're really proud of this game. The game is content complete and everything. It almost seems like the game could be released when it is. But it seems like Star Wars Outlaws really underperformed to the point where they're kind of trying to relaunch it in the fall, or almost eventize it in the fall season again. Like maybe get a new ad campaign and during football season or during the holiday season. Maybe get some Black Friday deals, maybe get some bundles. So it seems like Star Wars Outlaws is going to be like what they're positioning as their big game of the fall. With Assassin's Creed coming in next year, but they also there's other sort of changes to this, including it seems like this game, and I don't know if all their games forward are gonna launch on Steam day one, as opposed to sort of being
in their investor pamphlet thing. They said that all their games are coming to Steam on day one now,
which is great. Put the games where the people are.
Yeah, I mean. I'm gonna, for those watching, I'm gonna be working on a unpacked video for not next week, but the week after, kind of detailing the past few years of Ubisoft and kind of how we got here. Because if we look back a little bit farther than Outlaws, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora underperformed, Prince of Persia underperformed.
No, don't say that. It was great.
It was great, but it underperformed.
I'm gonna buy. How many copies do I need to buy to change that under to an over?
Yeah. And
several million.
I thought Assassin's Creed Mirage underperformed because there was no online conversation about it really after release. It kind of just came out and people kind of forgot about it. But then when I was actually researching it today, that game actually sold very well. It was one of their best-selling games of the generation.
There you go.
If not their best-selling game this generation. Not that Ubisoft has put out a lot yet this generation.
It sold better than Valhalla?
I don't know if it sold better than Valhalla.
I'm not trying to gotcha. I can't.
Yeah,
I just feel
no,
like
it's not. Well, Valhalla was a
cross-gen
both were cross-gen. Yeah,
generations don't mean anything anymore. I literally feel like I've played 5 new gen exclusive games.
Hey, but we're already talking about
Demon
PS6.
Souls, Returnal, Astrobot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's it.
I think part of
what I'm working on with that script is kind of how Ubisoft seems to be recentering itself a little bit, because they had tons of live service games in development. They canceled pretty much all of them. The only one that really made it out from that big new wave that they were working on was X Defiant. They had Hyperscape, but that got shut down not long after it launched. And then like Ghost Recon Frontlines was worked on for 4 years, revealed, and then canceled because the reveal was so bad. And then Division Heartland was just let go. So between like Prince of Persia, Mirage,
it was like fired.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
got called to an HR office. I was like, shit.
Yeah, but their games seem to be focusing more on density and story again, which is the Ubisoft that people really liked before they really went just bloated open world for everything. Because even Shadows in their marketing is really focused on the characters, the new gameplay features like the seasons and all that, and how that changes the game. They're really focusing on like the technical presentation. So I like that Ubisoft has delayed Shadows and wants to release it properly, because like they are basically, their reputation at this point is for basically releasing games that are just buggy at launch.
Also, give it to critics early.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars Outlaws, and this is a problem for everyone's side. This problem is the fact that so many sites and critics rely on that huge traffic at embargo or at launch. And so if you release something afterwards, then you're technically, you might lose out on money. But a game like that, people had to rush through, critics had to rush through Star Wars Outlaws, and that is not a game that is enjoyable if rushed through. I'm savoring it. I'm taking my time. I'm doing little Jabba missions, and they give me Jabba clothes. And if I get a little Jabba clothes every night, I'm happy as shit. It's Jabba clothes. Okay, you know about Jabba clothes. I'm sure you were in meetings where we're like, what do we do with the Jabba? No, there's several factions, and you do missions for the factions, and the more they like you get outfit options that you can kind of dress like their gang. So it's almost like Crips and Bloods, but it's like Huts and I don't know, Bloods.
Isn't there like a sand gang in there or something?
They're all sand gangs. Every gang in Star Wars is a sand gang.
The Bloods, or the Jubs and the Dons.
The Jubs?
Jubs.
If you listen to if I sound like I tried to flub that, is because I was trying not to say the Jubs and the Dongs, but we got the Jubs and the Dons instead. I don't know where I was going with that. Fuck off.
The Jubs? you were focusing on the Dongs.
The Jub of the Huts.
You call them the Jubs. But yeah, I want this game. I obviously want this game to be good. Like the feudal Japan Assassin's Creed has been a thing people have wanted since Assassin's Creed was a thing. Obviously, the timing on this is ironic because they delayed it 12 hours after Sony revealed Ghosts of Yotai, which we'll be talking about later on. Obviously, that probably won't be coming out in the same orbit as Assassin's Creed. I imagine that won't be that'll be a late 2025 game as opposed to Assassin's Creed, which will be out 45 days into the new year. But yeah, just the timing on that I thought was.
Can we also talk about the timing of moving it to February, and why the fuck is February the new November, where every game decides to come out in February? That release calendar is stacked.
Yeah, it's
and with every year something is going to get pushed out of there. I bet Civ 7 gets delayed.
What's everybody like in addition to the reasons given for them moving? What is Call of Duty releasing in November?
Yeah. No, October.
Oh, yeah, October 25th. Yeah. November, people are making space for Slitterhead on November 8th. Writing is on the wall, and people don't want to be in the orbit.
What is the big game in November?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. Like, what are people trying to get out of the way of?
There is none. It is
Dragon Age is October. Black Ops is October.
Where did GTA put their flag down? Because I know there's speculation that they're going to move it anyway. But like, where is their flag currently? That's not November, is it?
Next fall.
Next fall. It'll come out early 26. Don't worry, we'll be done.
Gotcha.
We'll be done by then. We don't have to worry about anything.
I guess maybe they're they can't be getting out of the way of the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, you'd want to get in the way of that if anything.
The games I have on my list are Mario and Luigi Brothership and Slitterhead. Same 24 hours. That's going to be 24 hours.
Has there ever been a November this bare
Stalker's
then?
in November. Stalker's in November.
But Stalker doesn't.
Yeah, I
Stalker
don't-
feels kind of niche.
You guys don't care about Stalker. Stalker, that game has a ton of hype behind it. Everybody's stacked around it at PAX West.
like casual, like big budget
Like,
AAA hype.
no one's,
like
no
that's
one's going to
that
open
hype.
their presents under the tree and get Stalker. People are going to open their presents under the tree and say, "Thank you, Mother, for giving me Slitterhead."
I mean, I kind of hope people don't open up under the tree and get a Stalker, but yeah.
No one wants that.
I agree
Yeah.
with you. I'm
yeah.
looking on. We have Farming Simulator 2025. That's the game everybody's moving out of the way of.
Of course, should have
It's a
known.
big one. Yeah. Lego Horizon's coming out. I'm excited for that. We'll see what's
Path of
going on.
Exile 2 is in November. Early access for that.
Yeah, but it's a weird fall. The fall is
Yeah, it's pretty sparse.
You know what? You know what? This
there's
is
like
the
a
fall
stretch
of?
of
This
like
is the
Marty ass
fall-
games, which I'm excited for. Like we're getting Zelda comes out tomorrow. We're getting Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill. Like there's like obviously the Brothership Slitterhead duo, but like those aren't for normies. those are for me. So I don't know. Light fall. But it's
Yeah.
fine. We have enough games. to
You
play.
know what? You know what? This is the fall of actually. Weirdly enough, VR. Because we're getting Metro Awakening, we're getting Alien Incursion. There's another big VR game coming that I can't remember the name of because it's VR.
I think
But I was
that's
excited
I think
for
that's
it.
a hole in your own argument.
No, just is too many things to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. There's
it's
no
the,
buzz around VR, regardless of what's coming
it's,
out. Like, I don't think anyone
Alien-
cares.
There's actually like 3 games that I want to play, and Eric just said it before I could. So now Eric looks smart instead of me, but nobody can see that. Behemoth from Skydance looks like the next really big, like Half-Life Alyx level VR game. But Alien Incursion, Metro Awakening, and Behemoth are like 3 games I'm actually really excited to play on VR.
There you go. Well,
All right.
we'll all be
And Eric showed none of them on screen, so I can't even show how cool they look.
because
So
there's no
VR
gameplay of VR.
New for VR will forever.
Show a
be
fucking tumbleweed rolling across the desert plains.
I need some reason to put on my Quest headset.
No, you don't. I own a
Yeah.
bunch of shit I don't use.
Aren't they releasing a new one soon?
Slim headset.
Yeah, like a 3S or something.
It's literally called the Quest 3S. I just assume it's slim.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think it is
that
supposed to
monster
be
is.
like
I don't want to play that game.
that arrow's going to do nothing.
Get outta
Nothing
here.
to the bottom of his foot.
I don't want to get stepped on by that monster.
Behemoth is awesome. It's like,
But yeah,
literally
it's
Colossus in
yeah.
VR.
Next year's already February is kicking off crazy. Civ 4 or Civ 7 on the 11th of February. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 the same day. Assassin's Creed Shadows on the 14th. Avowed and the Lost Records Bloom and Rage. The sort of don't nod follow up.
That's gonna get delayed out of there.
Yeah, but that's supposedly the 18th. The Monster Hunter Wilds got dated for the 28th of February, which is the same day that Like a Dragon Pirates, Yakuza in Hawaii. I don't think any of those words were right. I don't know what order I said those words in. Coming out the same day. Some of that stuff's gonna get delayed.
Yeah,
Nintendo
I honestly, I would bet on Monster Hunter being delayed out of there, even though it'll sell really well either way.
Why Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I don't think Monster Hunter got to move for anyone.
I don't think it has to move for anybody. I just
Monster
have
Hunter
a
is the
feeling-
biggest, arguably the biggest.
No, I know that. I just feel like it's going to get moved out of there anyways because Capcom doesn't release shoddy games at launch. So if it needs more time in the oven, they're going to give it to it.
That's true. So yeah, one more on Assassin's Creed Shadows when there's illumination on it. I tried to weave in a shadow thing and I failed deeply miserably. Really quick, one of the games I mentioned before, the other news bit is just another TGS bit was Metaphor ReFantazio, the upcoming RPG from the core leads of Personas 3, 4, and 5, which has been that game. They are marketing. They're trying their hardest to get people to care about this. Step one, we got to change the name of this game.
It's too late for that part.
What if we call it Metaphor?
Yeah, that would have been so much better.
Better.
Metaphor, like they both roll off the tongue. They're both sort of like fucking Jungian nonsense. But it is getting, I think, available now on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. A free prologue demo that is the opening of the game, and they listed the stuff that is in the demo. And full disclosure, I'm playing the full game, but it is like this is like a 10-hour demo, and your save carries over. So this is just beef. And this is what Square did the same thing with Dragon Quest XI, which I thought was a great move. Like that's what got me Like I got hooked on Dragon Quest XI in that demo, and as soon as it ended, I was like, yes, I will buy it and have my progress carry over. So I highly suggest anyone who's has a passing interest in Persona or fantasy RPGs, give this one a DL, because from what is in the demo, pretty good game. That's what I say.
A nice beefy demo is always encouraged. For someone like me who would love to understand the appeal of this genre, especially like the Atlas Persona-esque ones, I think it's a great way to get me to try it. But I doubt I would play more than 10 hours anyway. So like it almost feels like stealing. Like this is all I would play of this game regardless.
It's great.
That's a game I want to play, and then I just think about that I haven't finished Persona 5 yet, and I probably won't for another decade. Okay. So I'll play this at some point when I'm dead.
It's so good. And then the last thing, as I promised, the big reveal from the Sonic showcase. It is not Sonic Fall Guys, which is coming out. It's not Sonic and DC teaming up for a line of comics where all your favorite chinchillas are various members of the Justice League. No, it is the holy union between Sonic the Hedgehog and Topgolf. Topgolf. For those of you who might not live in a city with Topgolf, that's a place you go. It's like a driving range / bar restaurant that people go to, and you hit golf balls to a range. They always have little point things, and the balls have like digital sensors in them, so like they gamify it a little more.
Yeah, it's like Dave and Buster's if the only arcade game was a driving range.
So they are partnering with Sonic, and from what I gathered from this trailer, certain Topgolfs are going to have, when you hit your ball, depending on where it lands, if you land on one of those like special zones on the driving range, you can look at your monitor and your ball has entered a Sonic zone, and it starts doing Sonic shit. And let me tell you,
ball's entered the Sonic zone.
It enters the Sonic zone only if you're good enough. I feel like if you're not good at hitting the ball, it's not going to enter the Sonic zone.
So you just watched this unfold on a screen? But
in order to make it, it is a treat for you hitting the ball good. Man, you hit the ball good, all of a sudden you're in the Sonic zone.
These companies just know how to suck money out of Marty.
Because in all honesty, like I'm intrigued by this. Like I've had like a Topgolf party before, like a bunch of friends like went to Topgolf. Like it was a good time. I've gone with my son before, like he had a good time. I would love to take him to a Sonic themed Topgolf thing, but like I would like to know if it's worth it, because if it's just they play a video when you hit the thing, like that seems like a
this when I said the ball goes in the Sonic zone.
Yeah,
the thing I made up. I don't actually know if this is how it works.
Okay, all right. Okay,
that's how it makes sense though. I also like how they use the stock footage of people who do not know what's going on with Sonic.
You know what they actually have you do there is they have you hit the ball and they have you drop your son down and say, "Go fast, go fetch it."
Oh no!
you just have to run. Just run onto the range.
Yeah, very dumb, but just the right level of trash that I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Just the right level.
I'm also a little intrigued by the crossover thing that you mentioned, like the DC superhero, whatever. Like I saw an image of Shadow dressed as Batman, and I honestly thought that art looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen any of the other stuff. But I'm very curious. If you know already, just let me know. Is Sonic not the Flash?
Sonic is the Flash.
Sonic is the Flash. Okay, so who the hell is everybody else? Because everyone's just fast, just various degrees
Amy
of fast.
is Wonder Woman. Knuckles is Superman. Tails is
Superman.
Green Lantern, I think.
You know what? That tracks. I can see that.
Yeah.
He's an inventor. He has an imagination.
Yeah, exactly. It's being written by the guy who I think his name's Ian Flynn, who like is like the Sonic lore master.
Oh no, Knuckles is I'm sorry. Tails is Cyborg in this picture.
Oh, Tails is Cyborg. Green Lantern's Silver Sonic.
Silver. I don't know. I know of Silver. I don't know who Silver is.
I think he was in Sonic 06. He was the one who was mad at Sonic for kissing a human woman.
As he should be. You know what? I'm
team
species,
Silver. Are we not good enough for you? Yeah, but it's being written. I believe his name's Ian Flynn, who's like the Sonic people. He does good Sonic. He's written good Sonic, and people like him. So,
all right,
there you go. Congrats, Sonic. Congrats, Shadow. The Year of the Hedgehog. I don't know why everyone's weirded out. We're just talking about Topgolf. We're just talking about Topgolf and Sonic. It's just normal stuff.
You lost me when you started saying Sonic were other characters, and my brain went to.
Well, I mean, it's Sonic.
Knuckles are.
It's
There's
Sonic
really-
crossovers, right? Like we've had this conversation on and off, right? Like who's kind of like the king or queen of just their IP being crossed over, and like I can't remember who we were thinking was like out in front, but clearly it's Sonic now, right? Like there's nothing else that has more.
Although I didn't send it to you today. You know who's coming to Brawlhalla?
Who's coming to Brawlhalla?
Who's your favorite? It's Mega Man. Mega Man's there.
What?
You meet Mega Man? Is Mega Man going to come to your office?
I'm not gonna say. I forgot that's a Ubisoft game. I can't say anything about that.
Dr. Mega Man DX. Yeah, Mega Man coming to Brawlhalla. What if Mega Man came to Mega Man?
That'd be nice. That'd be pretty cool.
Mega Man came to Mega
That's actually
Man.
really cute art. I like that art.
It is really cute.
Is that how he looks in the game? I doubt it.
It looks nice. He almost looks like, remember when they like remade Mega Man 1 for like the PSP and he was kind of like chibi a little bit?
Yes, yeah, I do remember that. But was it Mega Man Powered Up? I think that was called.
Powered Up, I believe that's what it was called. Yeah, that was neat. A couple super chats also came in. Saucy Guru, SPS Guru changed his name to Saucy Guru, and it's just very confusing every time I read it. €2 donut. Thank you so much. They need to release Outlaws on Steam. They announced Star Wars Outlaws is coming to Steam in November. I want to say November 21st
at some point.
Yeah, so that's good. And I know they've been working on a lot of folks. I actually haven't had any technical problems yet. Knock on wood, but a lot of folks had some technical problems with the game. There was like a big thing where like save files got borked, like the opening. I think ironically for people who did the like if you bought the fancy edition, you got to play it 3 days earlier. Which I think they also said they're getting rid of that for AC Shadows. Like there's still going to be sort of like a season pass and a deluxe edition thing, but I don't think there's going to be early access, which is good. I think that's bad. I think that's bad across the board, even though I do it for games because I'm an idiot. But I think it's bad. Don't be like me.
Yeah, I've always thought that was a shitty business practice.
Yeah.
And everybody gets the first expansion for Assassin's Creed Shadows for free.
Look at that.
Which
free 99.
That or was that the people who bought into the pre-order thing?
It sounded like that or maybe. No, they said they're refunding pre-orders. They're refunding the pre-orders and then reopening them.
We should have a supercut of all the times we say something and we're just not sure of it, and it's like, what do we? I'm extremely guilty of.
As we sit at a computer, you could just Google it.
I can't Google it.
Sorry, we're busy right now.
I'm here directing traffic.
I don't know about you, but I'm doing a podcast.
Casey's watching that Brawlhalla trailer. Inverse Skies with $8 Australian. Thank you so much, Inverse Skies. Looking forward to Metaphor. Marty finally convinced me to play Persona 5 after banging on about it for ages, and he was right. Even a dead clock is right every once in a while. Persona's great. Metaphor is great. Metaphor is just Persona if you want it a little less horny and a little more Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Without the horniness.
So to follow up on the Shadows thing, so they're going to refund the pre-orders that have gone in, and then if you pre-order the game, re-pre-order the game, you get the expansion.
Reorder? Repre? Who's out here repre-ing?
Oh, God. Game companies doing weird shit as usual. Yeah. What's new?
Do they have an Assassin's Creed iced out Shadows necklace that you can buy?
No, but they have the illuminated one.
In this case, that might be offensive.
Don't buy that one. The hedgehog is fine, but the other one's a bitch to buy. And then Andrew Frangies, thank you so much for a $10 dono. Not sure why this has come up so much lately. Sonic did not kiss a human woman. A human woman kissed Sonic while he was unconscious. Also, hi everyone, love the channel. I still haven't played Sonic 06, so
they asked why it comes up so much. The person's right there. That is the reason.
You're pointing to that's not me. That's the B-roll. You're pointing to the B-roll.
Eric has it flipped.
So hold on, because I feel like this. We need to address this. Are we saying that Sonic was date raped and then then victim blamed? Is that what we're saying?
No, not. However you consider Sleeping Beauty, that's Sonic got Sleeping Beautied. Listen, I'm just here to.
I'm just turn in anything.
You guys ever saw the film Civil War? I'm here to deliver the news. What you do with it is up to you. I speak truth to power, except when it comes to me talking about Sonic kissing the woman.
Every time we talk about Sonic,
an apology.
No, every time we talk about Sonic, I just get more concerned.
As you should. That is the rightful path of
You need to
humanity.
get some of that stress off. Go out to Top Golf. Hang out with your friends.
There's so much like dark history behind Sonic.
And then
And weird porn.
Matty D says normalize kissing dead hedgehogs. And then Ben Katz with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. $5 to say Soul Reaver. Yeah, Ben Katz, that is a perfect way for us to segue into our main topic, which is the PlayStation State of Play that aired yesterday. It was about 35 minutes, and they showed off a ton of games. It was from if you just get rid of what you thought of the games themselves, like a nice put together presentation of just game, like almost has that Nintendo Direct feel where it's just game. Very few talking heads. The talking heads are just a segue into game. So I guess starting with the big thing, obviously, was what they showed at the end, which is Ghost of Yotai, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Not following Jin anymore. This game takes place 300 years later in a new part of Japan with a brand new samurai ghost protagonist. Yeah, I was gonna say samurai. I think they're samurai. Right? They seem more like a wandering Ronin in this.
She's
one.
a Ronin.
She's got her like, car and everything.
Ronin were mentioned. I don't know if she herself is a Ronin, but like, what else would she be? Right?
She's the guy says like all the Ronin are hunting you now.
Oh, but if the hunt, maybe that's because you're not a Ronin or you're a fake Ronin, bootsy ass Ronin.
You're a Sama Ronin.
Sam, that sounds delicious. Looks fucking cool. I don't know. Looks like the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Like, feels like they should have shown this off a week earlier when they showed off the PS5 Pro. Like,
Yeah,
should have been at
bad press.
Yeah, because this is one of those games where it's like, oh, this is going to be like a next gen ass game coming out next year.
Like this could help them push that hardware if they say, hey, we really kicked up all the graphics for this bad boy, so you want to play that at its best, better get that PS5 Pro. Folks would have ate that up.
Yeah, they got me with it. I hate you, Sony.
Did you buy PlayStation 5 Pro for this?
Oh yeah.
Like, I was a little lukewarm on the original Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm gonna sell my PS5 so that I'm not spending $800 on this thing because I got to get the disc drive too. But yeah, I mean, like,
Did you use the disc drive?
You were lukewarm on Ghost of Tsushima.
I've talked about this before. Like, I played through it all on stream solo, and I thought the story was great, but the game itself is just really bare bones. But like, I love the idea of a second go at it. Like, make all, like, same thing with Uncharted. First Uncharted was real kind of bare bones as an action adventure thing. That's kind of how I felt about Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
I think Yotai will probably add to what they had there and then make it the game that I think it should have been in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, look at the jump from Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2 or Uncharted to Uncharted 2. Even with Sucker Punch, Infamous to Infamous 2. Like, I think it's, like, have your first game kind of be like a sloppy copy, and then you know, then kill it with the second one. Looks great. Yeah, I like the fact that some people are mad that they're like, Jin had more story to tell. I'm like, I don't know. I would kind of always rather have like.
Didn't.
He completed the whole hero's journey.
Yeah, like, he really did. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, no, this is like Shogun is the same way. The series, like, Shogun kind of ends, and they're like, we're doing another season of it. I'm like, just go to another point in Japan history. Just go anywhere. Like, we don't need to follow the same characters. Just give me a new cool adventure. And trailer looks really cool. I'm a big fan of this. So
I really like that the vibe of the trailer is a spaghetti western mixed with samurai. Yeah. That has me really interested because it's
I mean, they're two sides of the same coin, honestly.
Yeah, they were both.
No, they are. But like, the first Ghost of Tsushima didn't really have the western themes in it. This one, like, just the music alone had the western theme in it, and I was like, okay, I like. No,
you show up at the edge of an encampment and you call everybody out to come see you. That's western.
Yeah,
like that is full ass western energy.
Also, you know what the best part of the trailer was, which we just saw again? All those horses.
Yeah. Really, I just like that she has a shamisen on her back. I feel like we're gonna get to play that a lot.
What is that? Is that the guitar? I keep calling it guitar.
Yeah, it's what's making the sound that you hear, the string instrument sound. It's a shamisen.
Yeah, you know what the string's probably made of? Horsehair.
You know what? You're probably right.
Right? That's what they used back then. Looks cool. Does not have a date. Is just 2025. And for folks, this is like the proper follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. Some people were like, "Oh, is this almost like a Miles Morales, like 1.5 kind of thing?" No, this is
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes.
Did they say that?
Yeah, they're doing an
confirm that?
anthology
Okay.
series. They're not doing direct sequels.
Yeah. So this is like the core. Because I mean, the game came out summer 2020, the original one. So that was
Already?
over 4 years ago.
Oh my god, yeah, that was a
July
while ago.
2020. Yeah. So
Where's time going?
yeah, it moves quickly.
Are they still working on that movie?
Yep. The John Wick
Yeah.
guy behind it.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Cannot wait for
All right,
that.
I'd watch that.
So yeah, it looks cool. Some of the other things announced, obviously some smaller things. They announced free DLC coming to Astrobot later on in the year, which is going to include new special bots. Like they showed characters from Helldivers and characters from what was the first game everyone was mad at this year? Stellar Blade. That definitely wasn't the first game everyone was mad at, but one of the games everyone was mad at. And then also a bunch of speedrun levels, which looks really cool. So I'm very excited for that. So those, in my mind, those are like, okay, these are the cool AAA Sony things. And then Sony also, as they want to do, they showed off smaller games that are coming. You know, they're coming to all platforms and everything, but showing off here stuff including old games coming back, which obviously I get really excited for. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered, coming to PlayStation and everything else. Those are the games that like Amy Hennig kind of cut her chops on before heading over to Uncharted. Some of the best storytelling of the PS1 era. Like I think honestly just right behind Metal Gear Solid and some JRPGs in terms of story. So again, cool that these are going to be able to be, these aren't full on FF7 kind of remakes, but looks like very playable.
Actually,
modern.
I really want to play those games. Like I've only
Cool.
ever heard good things about them, and
Yeah.
I think I tried to load up the first one through emulation. Like the controls were just really bad, so I'm excited for the remaster.
I want
for
to
them
say
revamp that.
Yahtzee mentioned that too. That he recently tried to go back to either this or its previous
Yeah,
one.
he was thinking about doing it for
And
a retro review, and it's
yeah,
hard to
but he
play,
but he
right?
couldn't. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of unplayable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Lunar 1 and 2 are coming back. If those are beloved JRPGs of the PS1 era that again are not playable on any normal ass hardware. I guess there's like phone versions. I'm not playing shit on my phone. Get the fuck out of here.
They also coming to your phone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Nick, you also mentioned they did show off a surprising amount of PSVR stuff.
Yeah.
As in like a couple things, but felt kind of surprising. Like the fact that
they
they
remember it exists.
Yeah, that they remember that exists. The Metro Awakening, the Hitman World of Assassins VR thing. Pretty neat, right?
Yeah.
I guess if you own that.
The Hitman one does look cool.
Yeah.
That the Hitman VR has been out for a while, but they've been working on like a revamp of it because it wasn't very good. So this
I had no idea it was out.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a year.
Yeah, it's been a while, the VR thing. Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
heard
it was really lackluster. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, obviously, we mentioned Monster Hunter Wilds getting dated for the end of February. Pal World is coming to PlayStation finally.
Just in time.
Speaking of Stellar Blade, 2B from Nier Automata is coming to there. And it always makes me think of, there was an interview with Yoko Taro, the creator of Nier, where they asked how these collaborations come about. And he just said, we'll put her, just if you pay us money, you can put her in anything. It doesn't matter.
Did you see that the account literally retweeted that? Like with the trailer for this, it was like, we'll do anything for money. Like
I'm like, just be honest. It's so great. Like he's like, yeah, well, fine, put her in fucking anything. That's fine. Just pay us money, which is great. I deeply appreciate that honesty. And then one of the cool new games that I'd never heard of, I think it was revealed, was Midnight Walk, which looked very much like almost looked like it's coming up to both VR and non-VR, but looked very much almost like a kind of a fucked up Tim Burton dark fairy tale, a little like small dude in a big world that's trying to kill him, like kind of a little bit of Little Nightmares vibes to it. That looked really cool. I was very, very excited for that.
I am very excited for Hell Is Us.
Hell Is Us, yeah. What was that? I was very confused by the name, just because I feel like things have been called Hell Is Us before.
It's like
Really?
Yeah, it's like sci-fi, post-apocalypse, Souls-like, but
It's
got
giving
a
me
very
like SCP vibes. Like
yeah, it's got a very
Control-esque.
SCP vibe. to it.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on that game for a long time. So I'm
Okay,
really
you knew
excited to
about
see it
that
dated.
beforehand?
Oh yeah,
I hadn't heard of it until yesterday.
yeah. I think they teased it at the Game Awards a couple of years ago.
Oh, cool.
So I'm excited to see that one got a date. And then there was the the arcade, that new arcade game that got announced that looked really cool on trailer. Turns out it's like a MMO.
Great.
Wait.
Yeah.
How is that? How is this an MMO? Because I looked at the combat in that and was very impressed.
It
Does
honestly
it play like that?
I don't know. That's the thing. You never know with these MMOs because like they look really good on screen like that, and then they play very janky MMO. But also like a lot of them, like a lot of these fancier MMOs now are like getting way more into that kind of third person action combat instead of traditional point and click stuff.
Which I support. Like,
Because
do more of that.
yeah, like Throne and Liberty plays so much more like a action combat game than just a point and click thing, and New World plays like an action combat game. So they're getting, the tech is there now, I think, to really pull that stuff off in an MMO environment. But
What about Dokkaebi?
that is that arcade game is when it's actually playable and I see somebody play it, I'll believe it. Right now, it's
Yeah.
I was very disappointed it wasn't single player because it looked really cool.
Yeah, like that looks more like gameplay than a lot of other games that claim that they're strictly combat focused, like one character third person action focused.
Yeah,
but this is gameplay. Like those, like this, that actually did look like gameplay to me. So I'm very concerned now if it's an MMO.
Can't believe anything.
Yeah,
it's like, is it cake? You're like, shit, I don't know if it's cake or not. Can't trust this.
Yeah, the publisher is also working on the it's Kekyo Games or something. They're also working on that Chrono Odyssey game, which has been shown off a few times. That one looks really impressive too. So I don't know. Those are definitely games I need to see like somebody have their hands on a controller.
Yeah, they got to finish them.
Because we actually checked out some of their publishers' games at PAX West. They're the same publisher of Lost Eidolons, Veil of the Witch, which Casey, you and I checked out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where all that money's coming from, but we'll see.
No. Yeah, a little bit.
I want to see.
They kind of sprinkled just a little bit of stuff for everyone. They put a release date on Fear the Spotlight, which is the first indie horror game coming from the Blumhouse horror label, coming out on October 22nd. For full disclosure, I did some consulting work on the game, so my opinion doesn't matter. But if you like sort of PS1, PS2 era horror games, it's very cool. Also, my opinion doesn't matter there. So there you go. But
it's got those pixel wobbles that PlayStation folks love so much.
Love those wobbles. Machi, do I love those wobbles. But then, so the announcement that when I'm saying Sony showed us the good, showed us the weird, the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster is coming out on Halloween. This is Horizon Zero Dawn, 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4, which already has like PS5 upgrades, is getting remastered for the PS5, and they're showing side by sides, and they're like, we have re-recorded performances and dialogue, and I just don't understand why this is happening and why time and effort is being put into this and not anything else. I don't get it.
Well,
no, like with the last,
I'm going to play the devil's advocate for once.
Sorry, what did you say, Nick?
I'm going to play devil's advocate for once on this podcast.
All right.
I mean, it's a Nix's project. That's what they were literally bought to do, is port and remaster things for Sony.
But why this? Why this?
Yeah,
like, I'm obviously fine with ports and remasters, and especially if a game is not available on a piece of hardware, like port it and remaster it to that piece of hardware. Like we were talking about the Legacy of Kain games and Lunar. Yeah. Like that's great. Like those games aren't here. Sony has games in their library that aren't They have Resistance. They have Killzone. They have Infamous.
They have Bloodborne.
Fucking Bloodborne. Like, I just don't understand why this game, which already looks and runs just fine.
I'll give you another reason. Herman Holst is co-CEO of Sony.
Sure,
this was his baby.
Yeah, this game's a nepo baby.
Yeah.
I understood it happening with The Last of Us, and a lot of people were like, "Why the fuck is The Last of Us getting a PS5 version?" And I understood it was to tie in. I mean, I guess maybe that's the thought here, because The Last of Us one, I assumed it was to tie in with the show, and that you're gonna get a bunch of people who watch the HBO show and are like, "Shit, I want to play this game," and then, they want the freshest and newest version on the new piece of hardware that folks can check out. So maybe it's a similar thing because Horizon is being adapted as well. But
you could just.
But they're not even timing with the show, so.
But even if they had, like, you could just play like the original one on a PS5, like with no issues. Like, you can either buy it from the store, you can buy it.
Yeah, you could do the same with The Last of Us. Like, there was the PS4 version of The Last of Us that could run just fine on PS5.
Okay, so yeah, same difference. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah. They did the same.
Yeah, I forgot they also did another. Yeah, I forgot they did the
Spider-Man.
boosted version.
Yeah, George Spider-Man remaster to make like one kind of play like Miles Morales and two. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the part about Sony. Clearly, I love like Sony like exclusives and all that stuff, and they push hardware forward and make beautiful games, and so I don't think anybody's going to deny them that. But this is like the part about Sony that does annoy me is like, first of all, yes, you could go back and if you going to remaster some stuff, like go back and remaster like Infamous 2 or the Infamous series in general or Resistance or whatever. Like bring your classic catalog forward, kind of like Yahtzee mentioned in Fully Automatic today. Like you're using Astrobot to highlight all your history, but like where is that history? It's just sitting. You can't even access it anymore. The other part too is like, when we look at Microsoft and like just look at the variety of games they have coming, and a lot of the criticisms like, oh, Valve doesn't look good enough. It's not visually pretty enough. It's like visuals don't make a game better. I just want good games out of Sony. Like, I don't know, Horizon is good.
I just want games out of Sony. Games.
Yeah, it's not like a classic game that I get right. Yeah, I don't know. I just between this and Concord and stuff like that, just some weird decisions that just feel really cynical with Sony and more reminiscent of like the PS3 era lately. Which we've said a few times.
It's giving off like a real sense of fear from Sony. Like anytime they try to dip their toe into something that's a little new, something that's a little out there, as soon as it doesn't pay back exactly, in spades, like the way previous things have, like they pull back immediately. Like Concord, of course, is the best example of that. But then the stuff that has done well, they just continue to lean on it as much as they can. Like they don't have a new Horizon in the works that they can show. So like, just bring the old one. Like we don't have a new Spider-Man yet. Just bring the old one. Same thing with like Last of Us. Like they're just hanging on to the success, like the overwhelming success of the last generation. It's like they're too scared to mess it up this time because like they really are just out in front with no one around them, and it's their game to lose. So like, let's just do what we did last time. Like they don't want to kind of steer the direction of the industry. It feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
No one wants to pick up the mantle.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's afraid of it.
The other side of the coin, I guess. I mean, obviously, The Last of Us had the TV show to tie to it, but there must be enough people that want a remaster for them to put the money in, or maybe not.
We talked about this. I think on Monday's Windbreaker, but people are like, "Well, why don't they? Well, why doesn't Naughty Dog go back and make Jack and Daxter?" And the thing is, like the Jack and Daxter, all of the games combined, which I think is 5 games. It's 3 regular games, a Daxter spinoff, and Jack X, the racing game, has sold about 13 million copies total. The Last of Us 1 across PS3, PS4, and PS5 has sold something like 30 million. So
yeah, but it's also because more people have consoles now than ever before.
But didn't PS2 like
like one of the best selling consoles ever.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
the Naughty Dog
I don't-
leads also say that they didn't want to do that, like that they themselves just weren't interested in revisiting Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
say that. Yeah.
Well, and you saw, I think you saw it with, you saw it with
Yeah,
Ratchet and
that's
Clank,
weird coming
where
from
they Insomniac put out Ratchet and Clank and did not perform nearly as well as a Spider-Man game, and so their future is going to be Marvel games. It's going to be
Yeah.
Spider-Man, it's going to be Venom, it's going to be Wolverine,
Mhm.
because those things are going to print money, and they're very good. I like the Spider-Man games quite a bit. I'm really excited to see what they do with Wolverine. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Sony. They haven't released any sales numbers on Astrobot yet, have they?
no, which makes me
Not that
think
I've seen.
it's not.
Yeah, Sony's kind of
Breaking any
cornered.
records.
Sony's kind of cornered themselves with the type of market that they built for themselves, which
Yeah.
is I liked for a long time. I just like to see some more variety out of them. Because like, yeah, I really love that new Ratchet and Clank game. I'm sure
Yeah.
I love Astrobot. Like, I like when Sony gets really open and creative with their stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I play Astrobot. And I'm like, this team, they turned this game around in 3.5 years.
yeah.
And I just wish that they would allow more of their teams to just like make a thing like that. But I don't know.
Like, but those things don't sell at the volume
Yeah.
that they need. They need
Yeah.
the blockbuster, and they're
But
chained to it.
That's also part of it, though. Is they don't need it if they just stop investing so much money in the projects that are never going to make that money back. Like, make smaller games again.
Well, sure, yes,
Yeah.
that would be the solution to this. But again, like the return just wouldn't be anywhere near what they need to justify just any of their existences.
Yeah.
They're too big. Everybody's too big.
Yeah, it's a bummer. A couple super chats that came in. One related to that, one not. Amy with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. My main takeaway from the state of play: they remembered that Lunar exists. It has been decades since we've heard from that franchise. Yeah, which is it's. Listen, I am all for that era of games. If they're not easily available on stuff, just put them. Like, we're getting Suikoden. We got the Grandia games. Like, get all those weirdo games. Give us Xenogears. Let us fucking crucify Choo Choo. Choo Choo is your animal companion friend in Xenogears, and spoilers, Choo Choo gets crucified at one point, and it's a tough break for. Well, everyone gets crucified, including Choo Choo, but Choo Choo's the funny looking one who gets crucified. She looks like a Furby being crucified.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's only the second game I've been made aware of that features crucifixion.
was the first.
Wasn't it Cyberpunk?
Yeah. There's got to be more games with crucifixion.
Man, you just ruined Gatling Combos Day.
Oh my God! Spoilers, Choo Choo. How could you? I don't know who spoiled either Cyberpunk or Choo Choo spoiled it. But Choo Choo was also the person who got crucified in Cyberpunk. It was part of the Choo Choo DLC. And then Lucas McGuire with 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much, Lucas. I never get to watch any of these streams live. Marty, please use this as a note for the rewind and to get your thoughts on Megalopolis and The Substance. Substance was the wildest viewing experience in ages. Megalopolis was bad. I'm sure we'll talk about both of those next week. I've seen The Substance. Agreed. I fucking loved it. It was batshit crazy. Give Demi Moore an Oscar. And I'm excited to see Megalopolis this weekend. And I've heard it's terrible. I'm very excited.
Didn't all this stuff just come out?
Did what?
Didn't all this stuff just come out about the director of that movie being real weird with women on set?
Francis Ford Coppola? Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a bad dude.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. He made The Godfather.
That guy's related to
He did?
Nick Cage, right?
Francis Ford Coppola. Yes, he's the most famous director ever. He made The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. And
I wasn't watching movies back then.
Neither was I.
Darren, where are you? Darren, wake up. I need you. I need you, Darren. My thing about Megalopolis, though, is there's a scene in the movie where Adam Driver, who's the main character of the movie, addresses the audience, and then an audience member goes to the front of the theater and starts speaking to Adam Driver on the screen. And that's only certain experiences. And Sun Prairie, Wisconsin does not have any of those experiences. So you know what I'm going to do?
So what happens in your theater? Is it a different cut?
I'm going to see it once. I'm going to stick around for the second screening, and I'll be the guy.
Wait, overzealous.
I'll be the guy who stands up in front of the screen and yells at Adam Driver.
That has to be like
Hello.
a specific cut of the movie, right? Like,
I think so.
Wait, overzealous.
because
in chat.
otherwise, most theaters would be like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
It says to look into the director of Jeepers Creepers. The guy that directed The Godfather did not direct Jeepers Creepers.
No, the guy who directed The Godfather he's a goddamn monster.
Okay.
Ugh.
Well, then who
Okay.
directed Jeepers Creepers?
A monster.
Why they're not the same person?
Francis Ford Coppola did not direct Jeepers Creepers.
Yes, that's what I was trying to find out. You just kept saying they were a
I
monster.
got so excited that my camera went out of focus. Don't you guys hate it when you get so excited on a podcast that your camera goes out of focus and you don't know how to fix it?
Yeah, can't contain it.
Okay, I've seen The Godfather. I've seen Apocalypse Now. I just didn't remember the director. Chill out, chat. KC, I don't know if he's seen him. You can yell at him, not me.
Yeah, I've seen The Godfather.
I'll yell at both of you.
I've
Yeah,
not watched
you
Apocalypse
can't
Now.
like watch cable TV and not see The Godfather. It's always on.
Challenge accepted. You know what I like when it's on?
Lord of the Rings.
Face Off.
No.
I like when Face Off's on TV.
That's
I
a-
feel like it's a good night.
Now
of
that's
on
that's a classic movie.
now that's cinema.
Francis Ford got the guy who directed Jeepers Creepers the job, so they're connected in some way.
Is this like? Are we trying to gotcha the
Yeah, like does that?
cancel Francis Ford Coppola and the
No,
Jeepers
no,
Creepers?
no. I just didn't know why they were related. That's when chat gets involved in the podcast and they confuse us.
No, just roll through it. Don't just read.
I was curious, and I got my answer. I didn't yell at anybody.
Weren't we gonna get a face off too?
Are we still
Face
getting
on.
a face off too? Aren't they working on it now?
Yeah, like I feel like I heard something about that
Yeah.
recently. Like not like back when face off was relevant.
I'm pretty sure it's still being worked on. Right? Did you know we're getting a Happy Gilmore too?
Yeah, it's gonna
That's
be sick as
stupid.
hell.
We don't need that. Just
It's gonna be like-
just have Adam Sandler make more new stuff. That's been going great.
Remember,
money.
Hubie Halloween. I go to bat for. I'm very excited in October for my annual Hubie Halloween viewing. If anyone wants to join me on All Hubie's Day, we'll be watching Hubie Halloween and drinking
All
soup.
Hubie's Eve.
All Hubie's Eve. That's what Sony should do. They should remaster Hubie Halloween.
Oh god.
They got to buy it first.
Yeah.
I don't think Sandler wants to sell.
Hubie Halloween is one of the funniest jokes. This is a spoiler joke in Hubie Halloween. The kind of like the narrator of the movie is they keep cutting back to like the overnight radio DJ at the radio station in town, and it just has this like sexy like Foxy Cleopatra voice to it, and it's like just real smooth, and you're like, ooh, who is this? And finally they go to the radio station, and it's Shaq. It's such a good
Would
movie.
you like our Papa John's pizza?
It was so good.
Shakaroni.
Shaq's great. And then Quintuple A with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. So the demo on Metaphor sold me. More demos, please. See, Quintuple knows what's going on.
I put that in my
knows what's
Unpacked video. but
Agreed.
Demos are essential these days. Too
Yeah.
many games to not have a demo.
Yeah. More demos, please. Speaking of demos, what have you guys been watching, playing, whatnots?
I can start, I guess. I stumbled into a new animated series on Netflix. Like it's brand new, it's like in the top 10 and everything. And I had no idea is a Zack Snyder joint called
Oh, yeah.
Twilight of the Gods.
Yeah, they really like shoving
That's
Zack
what
Snyder
that
stuff
was.
down my throat on Netflix. They really
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, like Netflix was like showing off like a quick little teaser of the show, and like it really dragged me in. Like that very short teaser of like this opening combat encounter, like really drew me because like beautiful animation, like great like cinematography and like action set pieces and stuff. I was like, ooh, what is this? Let me see more.
And Zack Snyder's name pops up.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zack
no.
Snyder's name popped up. I was like, oh shit, what's going on here? But like they're throwing in the fact they're like, oh, visionary director behind 300. So like it's in that same kind of vein, like historical epic, but you know, high fantasy version, whatever. So you know what? And it's animated. I can deal with this. And honestly, I was very pleasantly surprised. Like it's a good story, great voice work. And again, incredible like action, like animated set pieces. Like this it's essentially a story of kind of Norse gods screwing people over, as you know most
wont
pantheonic
to
gods do.
Yeah.
Yeah. like it's this guy who's kind of like the prince of a village. He meets this lady who is like a child of giants. They fall in love on the battlefield. They try to get married, and it's like they're from two different cultures. So like the gods may not be too favorable about this, but on their wedding day, Thor comes down looking for Loki and just fucks shit up.
Yes.
Like for no real reason other than they were in his way. And so the husband and the would-be husband and wife, they like, of course, their wedding day was ruined. They didn't actually get married. Like they managed to survive this massacre. And the woman, Sigrid in particular, vows vengeance on Thor and just any other gods who want to stop her. And like she goes on this kind of quest to like collect like help, people, resources, weaponry, like stuff that can get the job done. And like she just turned, like she was already kind of like a badass, but you see her turn to like this really vengeful, like stone cold person with just like her would-be husband sticking by her side for the sake of, you know, he loves her, but like seeing her become kind of a different person all the while. And then like they get mixed up in all these other people's stories, and they all have like their own beefs with gods or, you know, with tribes or whatever. And like it's really, really compelling. Like you learn a lot in a very quick amount of time about just a bunch of Norse mythology and stuff. Like a bunch of Norse character. And I don't know if this stuff is like pulled straight from the books or it's just its own sort of, you know, retelling. I'm probably sure it's that, like just a version of Norse stuff.
Yeah.
But like it ends like super climactically. But it's on a cliffhanger. Like it's like I kind of need to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if Netflix is going to give it a second go, but maybe because it's Zack Snyder, I mean, the Rebel Moon got a second one, right?
I think they were already like in for a penny, in for a pound with that.
Yeah, like this was really good. Like I liked it a lot. So anyone who's into like animation and like maybe just Norse mythology and stuff,
That's cool.
give it a look. Like it was really good.
And it's is it just like a 10 episode season?
Yeah. Like quick 10 episodes.
Are they 20-minute episodes or like hour long episodes? That's
they're
animated.
like-
It's probably like 25.
Yeah, like
minutes, right?
25, 30. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Hmm.
You've been playing, watching anything else?
Yeah, in terms of watching, I put down combat sports here because I just realized I've been kind of dabbling into a bunch of just very random, like competitive, not TV, because I'm watching streams, I'm watching like YouTube channels, whatever. I stumbled across a Twitch streamer who just rebroadcasts sumo matches,
Oh hell yeah.
and he like commentates them for the English viewers. So like he's telling me stuff about like the fighters, their history, like whatever their beefs are, what their goals are,
Oh, that's
and then
cool
like
as
he's
hell.
giving me like insight into like what the moves are when they do like the actual sumo wrestling and stuff. So I was captivated because after watching that series Sanctuary, which I still don't know if that's going to get a second season.
Yeah.
Like I learned a lot about just the inner politics of sumo, and it's like kind of one for one. Like it was a very good representation because the stuff that guy was saying, the stuff I was seeing was just literally what I learned from that TV show. And it is very interesting to actually like once you understand at a base level like what this competition is, it's super interesting to watch. Like I could see myself getting into like watching sumo. Cause like there's real technique, there's real strategy, like, and there's just dope ass matches on display here. So that was fun, but I also stumbled across a YouTube channel that was just a reality show of like a bunch of just martial artists from across the world. I don't know what the show is called because it's like a YouTube series, but the channel is Martial Arts Journey. And like the titles are things like, oh, 6 martial artists are locked in a room with a knife attacker, or 6 martial artists have to survive a bar fight or whatever. And the competition is each of these martial artists are put in a scenario and they're scored and judged on how well their self-defense like instincts kick in regards to the scenario. So like it's not just a straight up beat everybody up in the bar type thing. It's a were you able to de-escalate the fight? Were you able to keep the friend who was with you in the bar safe after he got you in trouble? Like were you able to not escalate the situation as like basically you start throwing like possibly lethal attacks at someone that can get you in trouble afterwards, because like the follow-up to the bar episode was them having to talk to a fake police officer and explain what happened during the fight. And I thought that was hilarious.
That's the opening of Con Air. That's Nicolas Cage gets arrested for manslaughter for killing a dude during a bar fight.
Yeah. So it's like they are really trying to simulate like, hey, if you get into a scenario like this with your skill, are you making the right decisions? And I think it's a really cool way to look at self-defense in general, because like, no, it's not about just beating everybody up. It's about keeping yourself safe and the people around you safe, and still being like a decent human and citizen of the world.
That's like that's some real anime shit there of like, I am very powerful. Like Goku's like, I'm very powerful, but I need to know how to use it, and violence is the last resort.
Yeah.
Vinland Saga in real life.
yeah, that's the Vinland Saga arc. And finally, in terms of like playing, yes, I'm still playing ZZZ and lots of it. A big update is dropping soon, or has just dropped, I think. I think I just downloaded the brand new update. They had a big showcase thing, and a big controversial thing. I don't know if any other folks have been playing or are aware. They're making a big change within that game, and that's the less active part of the game, which is what they call the monitor array or TV mode, which is where instead of you actually playing with the characters you pick up, you're sort of navigating an avatar through like a bunch of CRT TV screens, and you're solving puzzles, and they're telling you story through that. Like that's kind of their conceit for navigation, because they don't have like open worlds and stuff that you explore. And I thought it was like, personally, like I like it. Like I understand the purpose it serves, and it breaks up the action moment to moment. But a lot of folks hated it, so they're ripping it out. Like they're getting rid of it in most of the instances that it exists. Like it's not gone completely, but they're also speeding it up because it used to take like, there's a lot of animation and set dressing and stuff around it as well that they're just speeding up to like, so when it does show up, folks don't have to deal with as much of it. But on top of that, they're adding like more actual gameplay outside of the combat stuff. So like I actually experienced this very recently on the most recent like story thing I was doing, where like they actually linked a bunch of the levels together and had me like running around talking to like a soldier who was then telling me, like leading me forward, and like they were like actually shooting enemies while I was fighting them in the arena. And then eventually I got into this weird situation where like they, like this one soldier who was getting me to like walk around with him betrayed me, and then I had to fight him afterwards. So like this, they're like slowly making this like a full video game as opposed to like sort of sectioned off.
That's cool. Like, that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah. Like I like where they're going with this, and it's funny because I didn't realize that was something that could happen with this. That they could eventually just start to make this a much more conventional thing. Because even this most recent new chapter that's coming, they're adding like kind of these racing sections, and like that just wasn't stuff that was in the game before. So like it's exciting to think that as they come up with the new chapters and introduce new characters and new areas, that you'll just get new games, like just new mini games, new side games, just new activities to complement like the already like very, very fun and flashy combat. So like I've been in terms of ZZZ, like they continuously are pulling me back in. Like I see no reason to slow down at this point.
You got ZZZ fever,
man. For all the live service out there, that company Hoyoverse just gets it.
Yeah, they are very, very good at what they do.
Putting the money back into the games and not like letting them stagnate.
They also donate to charity. I think that's important to say. Like that cool. Like that company's mantra is was it Otaku Saving the World?
Oh, I like
and
that.
Like they actively try to make sure that they are doing good on top of like making a shit ton of money from gambling addicts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I respect them. I like what they do. I've had a lot of fun with the game.
I wonder if they ever will do a conventional non-gacha game.
Maybe. I mean, but these make so much money. Like, what?
Yeah, but how many? I guess they could just keep hiring people, but that's like how many can one company manage? Because they've got 4 already.
Yeah.
If not more, they have more. I think they have more than 4.
Do they? I just know of Genshin, Honkai, and ZZZ.
There's 2 Honkais. There's Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Third Impact. But I think that one has been adapted from mobile games, and they still have a couple mobile games in that Honkai Impact series as well.
Because they did mobile first before they went to console.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, they've got a lot of shit going on. They're just printing money, that company.
There you go.
Yeah, of the 3, I think ZZZ is raking in the least amount of money, but it's still like a lot of money.
I bet it'll start bringing in more when they make it more of a conventional game. Because obviously, like you said, people hate that menu thing. If people start seeing it's more just a game and not just gotcha.
Yeah, in the same way that like what's Genshin's like a big old like you can just play it as like a big old open world action.
Yeah,
RPG.
that's just a massive world. I doubt it'll ever get to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, just making it more like a more level based spectacle fighter thing could not hurt.
Oh, and then they have Tears of Themis, says Eric. A fifth gotcha game. I've never even heard of that one.
Oh yeah, what is that?
That sounds like a fake one. Sounds like it's a lot of real hot boys. Got a bunch of hot anime boys here. I'll do some research on this.
I like just a visual novel. Is that what that is?
I'm gonna save you. I'll figure out what's going on there. You been playing or watching anything else?
Me? No.
Hell yeah. Nick, what have you been going on? What have you been doing?
Yeah, I've just been too tired in the evenings to really like get super invested in a game. With everything going on with my mom here, but I've been putting some hours into Star Wars Outlaws, and I've definitely taken your advice, Marty, of like play a couple missions and put it down for the night, because it is a game like I don't want to spend too much time into, because it does get monotonous. But if I just do a story mission, a couple side missions, and then put it down, it's like the perfect little. I did a little Star Wars adventure today, and I moved on.
Yeah, it's almost like watching an episode of a TV show.
Yeah,
instead of binging it, you're just watching it.
Yeah, so I was like mainlining the story, so I left the first planet you get to pretty quickly, which I want to go back. But I like the mission that like finally really clicked for the game for me was when you go into the old High Republic cruiser. It was very much Naughty Dog game, and I was like, all right, I dig this. And I'm like, yeah, this is in the Star Wars for me. So now, I'm just enjoying taking my time with that one. I don't feel any need to rush through it or anything. And I could definitely see the criticism from reviewers that did have to rush through it. Is like, it's like a weird mix of like a very linear story-centered game, but then like a lot of the side stuff is really compelling to go do it.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no one ever wants to play something where it feels like they're on a like a strict deadline, especially a deadline of like 5 days.
Yep. But they also, with the Shadows announcement today, they also announced like that they're working on patches to improve the combat and the stealth.
Oh no, patches! So. Could kick you in the ass down a hole.
No, I've been hiding from him, but I might put it down until some of those patches are in, because it's good. I do think the combat's a little lackluster.
What have you been? Well, I mean, is the patch going to fix the combat?
That's what they said. There were combat improvements coming, stealth.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. What have you been playing on PC?
Yeah. So I have it on PS5, and then they added cross save with the last update. So I actually had my roommate go down and turn on my PS5 and upload my save, and then I was able to.
Oh, that's funny.
Get it on PC and download it here.
the way of the future.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. So
this is awesome. The other game I've been playing. Actually just came from Midwest Games, that new publisher out of Wisconsin. I've jumped 2 Survivors. So I don't know if you know, I've been very into the Survivors genre for the past few months. Like they're just games I like to play at night when I'm just I don't feel like I get
like
invested.
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, like Vampire Survivors.
Okay, sorry,
yeah.
I didn't realize
not
that.
Like Survivor Builder.
Like Bullet Heavens.
Yeah.
But every game in this genre has the word Survivors in the title now.
Sure.
There's Deep Rock Galactic Survivors and Vampire Survivors. And,
I mean, I guess it's almost like the word Rogue. Where I know what that means if you're gonna throw that in there.
Yeah. This one's pretty straightforward. It just feels really good to play. It's almost like playing top-down Helldivers a little bit. So if you've been looking for a new Survivors game, like this one. The really good Survivors like games, I guess, if you want to call them that, really, first of all, they have to have like a lot of variation where you can get all kinds of different power-ups, and that keeps things fresh constantly. And the more you play, you keep unlocking new things to add into that pile of upgrades that you get. And this game does that really well. I've played a lot of them. I don't know if I've played one that has a jump, and obviously this one has a jump pack. So like there are the way they do the levels, there's like these little areas that you can jetpack over and the enemies can't climb over, but there are flying enemies that can go over it. But so you can actually like get out of a tight situation just using your jump pack, which a lot of games, like if you get mobbed too hard, you're probably screwed. But in this game, they give you a way to get out of it. So I really like that. Lots of unlocks The sound design is really good. The music is fun. So yeah, I mean, I think it's only like $10. I'd say it's worth it if you like the survivor genre.
Cheaper, $7.
$7.
$10, but you got $3 extra. Spend on whatever you want.
Nice. Yeah, this looks more involved than like the basic Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, the
style.
maps just don't look like big old squares.
No,
Yeah,
they're not. Yeah,
right.
the maps like So one of the differences in this one is like there are hives that you have to go destroy. And there's like different categories of hives. Like there's a challenge hive, there's an apex hive, there's some other named hive or whatever. And you basically you cannot get into a spot where you are just like doing a circle like in Vampire Survivors or whatever. You have to go around and kind of take out those hives, but you're not gonna be able to like sit there and just shoot it dead. You're gonna have to like kind of keep moving, come back, do a little bit of damage, come back. So they constantly keep you moving, and it's round based too. So you only have a certain number of rounds. Like they're timed, so it doesn't matter how many enemies you kill or whatever. Everything is just timed.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. There you go. I've jumped to Survivors.
Yep. Aside from that, just been playing Siege. Been playing the 1.0 version of Raven's Watch, which I really like. I can't talk about it yet because the embargo's not up, but the early access version's been out forever. That's why I can say I like it, because I've been playing it for a while. That's a new game from the Curse of the Dead Gods developers. If you remember, Jack really liked that back on The Escapist.
I remember Jack.
Yeah, if you remember Jack.
Yeah, it's great.
And then in the evenings I've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
How's that going?
You can get those hobbits up in you?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch The Hobbit too.
Don't do that. That was a joke.
I really like the song in the first one.
I like the extended versions of the Hobbit movies. I don't think they're terrible.
They make me sad.
Why?
The extended versions or the regular versions?
Peter Jackson wasted like half a decade of his life on those.
I don't think they're like everybody.
We could have gotten more Kongs and more Lovely Bones. Could you imagine how many more Kongs and Lovely Boneses we could have had?
Could have had a crossover.
Chat always gets mad at me for saying I like the Hobbit movies. I said I like the Hobbit movies. I didn't say they're good movies. Fuck you, Eric, for taking away my beard.
Wow, that was unprovoked beard removal.
You look like a little Proudfoot there. My favorite thing. So Peter Jackson, after the Lord of the Rings, he did Kong, and then he did the Lovely Bones, based on.
I always forget he made that
book.
movie.
And originally, so it's about like a girl who's murdered by a serial killer, and how her ghost is like still existing and trying to like help her family cope with it and everything. And the dad of the family was originally cast as Ryan Gosling. And unbeknownst to anyone on the production of the movie, Ryan Gosling decided to gain like 100 pounds for the role, and like showed up right before filming, and they were like, "You're too weak. What are you doing? Like, we casted you to be Ryan Gosling. Like, we can't make this work." And they recast Mark Wahlberg.
That's Ryan Gosling in that photo?
Peter Jackson.
Oh, I had to open.
Well, I'm gonna have a whole series where Nick is very confused by directors.
I know that's Peter Jackson. I had to open up my Discord so I could see it.
I don't know if there's any footage or photos of fat Ryan Gosling. I'm also not.
I remember hearing the story,
but it is like apocryphal at this point, so it might as well be real. But I don't know.
Ryan Gosling
he should have done what Colin Farrell did in The Penguin, just put on a bunch of prostheses.
But Colin Farrell hated doing that, right? Didn't Colin Farrell say he never wants to put that stuff on again? He loved it for the movie because he only had to do it probably for like 2 weeks, and then he joined the show and had to do it for like several months straight. And he's like, "Get this shit off me! I'm never doing this."
we gotta fact check you, Marty. Here, he only gained 60 pounds, and he did it by drinking melted ice cream.
Ew. What did I say? Well, 60 is close enough to 100. If I say 160, that's
40 pounds is a huge difference.
60 pounds is a lot to gain.
Yeah,
100 pounds is a massive amount of gain.
It's a goss daddy. Love myself a goss daddy. Sussy Guru.
We need the fat Ryan Gosling movie now. Like, we need to make that matter.
Yes,
that he did.
There is a photo of. I mean, he just looks like normal Ryan Gosling, just not chiseled Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, let him be normal Ryan Gosling in a movie.
Let him breathe. Let him breathe. Let my boy breathe.
I think he's earned it.
cool and funny. Get bent, Jack.
Right. Yes. Ryan Gosling is definitely cool and funny.
You know,
Yeah.
you know who I keep seeing in the news and now it's getting annoying. Will Wheaton, because everybody online says I look like Will Wheaton, and now I just keep seeing him everywhere, and it's bothering me.
That's because you do look like Will Wheaton.
Look less like Will Wheaton.
You absolutely look like Will Wheaton. So
Gain 100 pounds and you won't look like Will Wheaton.
it's full of goss.
You got fat?
Full of goss.
Will Wheaton. Oh,
Sussy
God.
5-year-old don't know. Said, Casey, do you think ZZZ is over animated? I think this might be in reference to I haven't watched this video yet, but New Frame Plus, I have it in my queue, put up a video called The Over Animation of Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, that has popped up on my feed a couple times. I've not watched it yet.
Very
I'm
good
not
thumbnail.
sure.
Good enough for me to add to my queue and not watch this.
But not watch the video yet, right? Yeah, I'm very interested in what that argument is. I think I understand what people mean when they say it's over animated. Because like these are very much anime styled characters, right? And in most anime, like anime has traditionally worked with a shoestring budget. So like you don't get a ton of movement in a lot of just regular anime scenes, right?
Yeah.
But even when they, throw the budget out of the window, like it's still a house style where like, characters don't move a certain way. Whereas American cartoons, like let's say Looney Tunes, for example, you'll have characters that are super bouncy, right? Zenless Zone Zero has anime characters who move, especially in their cutscenes, as if they're like Looney Tune animated. So like it does look odd. Like it's something I had to get used to because like they'll have movements that just are just really fluid and like just kind of extra bouncy.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it's bad. Like it's the style they chose.
Interesting.
And yeah, I guess you could call it over animation because yeah, it's different for that style.
Sure.
But like I don't know if that's the argument that's made in that video, but I do want to watch the video.
Yeah. You know what video? Your queue. It's gonna go up the queue. It's not gonna go to the top, Mike.
Because I mentioned it.
No, it's in my queue right now, and I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. But yeah,
Marty's algorithm is just Sonic weird videos.
No, I watched that on the second wind account.
Oh shit.
Whenever I get into the freaky deaky YouTube, I sign in.
I was wondering why my Google searches are so
sign
weird.
into the work account. Yeah. And Palash T with a $2 dono. Thank you so much, Palash T. Not a gaming question, but what's your favorite Fargo season 2?
I've only watched one.
Fargo season 2 is my favorite. That's the one with Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst. It's great. It has one of my favorite weird magical reels and endings ever. I've not watched season 5 though, so I don't know. Maybe season 5 will be up there. I really liked season 1 and 2. Season 3 was pretty good. 4 I wasn't crazy about, but I hear 5 is good. And it's got John Hamm naked, and he's got his nips pierced. Don Draper, nips pierced, naked as the day he was born. Very excited.
Are these like an anthology? Like is each season like different people or?
Yeah, different actors, different people. There's some connection. Like one of the seasons takes place in modern day, and there's like a retired sheriff who's super old, and then another season is that sheriff is younger and one of the main characters. So like there's some tissue and connection between them, but overall you can pretty much watch them. Watch them singularly.
Before we move to what Marty's watching, I have a bone to pick.
You could.
I have a bone to pick with our entire audience.
Okay. Pick your bone.
Warrior was officially canceled.
And I thought you were mad at our audience.
I am mad at the audience because none of them watched it to continue making it. Yeah, we could have saved that show. You could have saved that show. I'm looking at you, audience. You could have saved it, and you failed us.
Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks.
Everything good nothing good on Netflix gets a finish.
That's honestly upsetting.
Says, which show was that? Show. Laughing my ass off. You. Overzealous says, "What is
everybody's
Warrior?
asking? What's Warrior?
What's Warrior?"
I feel very justified in being angry.
Yeah, incredible.
Damn, that does blow.
Just watch the old ones.
It wasn't on HBO Max anymore, Speakeasy. You could have saved it at Netflix, and I know you have Netflix. Don't you lie to me.
You don't know Speakeasy has Netflix. Don't assume what subscription services. Maybe it's just a Crunchyroll Peacock, man.
You know what? Now that it's been officially canceled, go pirate it. Like, still watch it, but don't give Netflix any more money.
But steal it. There you go. See, that's if a show gets canceled, then you're free reign. Sail the high seas.
We got another season of Rings of Power. We don't get another season of Warrior. What is this crap?
Bezos bucks.
But I've been liking Rings of Power season 2.
Yeah,
there's one thing I know about billionaires, they care about art.
Write a letter to Bezos to save Warrior. Let's bring it down.
Yeah.
Bezos, you already did it with The Expanse. Please do it again. We need you, Bezos. There you go. Watch Warrior. Yeah, honestly, I've just been playing a lot of Metaphor ReFantazio.
That you can't talk about.
Which I can't talk about, but go download the demo. And apparently it's like the first 5 hours of the game.
Remind the audience how many hours you put into that in the first day and a half that you had it.
I think first off, it was like 48 hours. It was 15 hours. I've put about 45 hours into it.
Oh my god.
It's good.
That's
you get
nuts.
hooked. You get hooked. If you
Breaking
play Persona, people who played Persona know what's going on. Where it's like, oh, what if I do one more day? What if I up a social link? What if I go see who's at the pub?
So, okay, question. Wait, no, you can't answer this question, I guess, because it's not.
If it's in the first 5 hours of the game, I can answer it.
Okay, within the first 5 hours of the game, what is the ratio of like dialogue to gameplay? Is it like Persona?
It is arguably worse than Persona.
Gotcha.
It is arguably. I will say the opening 5 hours, the story is immediately compelling. And like I said, it is very much not. I think some people Persona is kind of a hard pill to swallow because it is anime inspired Japanese teenagers with all of the baggage and trappings of this. This game is very clear that they were inspired by Game of Thrones. In I think in a really good way.
Bring me back in.
And it is way less horny, way less sort of traditional anime, and way more like their take on a grand sweeping fantasy story with real stakes, with characters who die, with characters with like real deep motivations, with really dramatic turns. It is also all about a democratic election, and like if
taking me out.
It is just very, the timing of the game, which has been in development for a very long time, is just very fitting for Americans. It's all about a democratic election.
Listening to you describe that game, I was like going and coming way down.
Yeah, the wave. No, but no. If you like that Persona flow, and then when you get into it, and then when you get to that meat where you're like, what do I do with my month? You're gonna have a lot of things to do with it.
Listen to more dialogue.
Good stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's watch the TV show.
God, I'm gonna have to like sit there and just like hook a Mountain Dew IV into my arm to stay awake during all that.
Lift a bunch of weights while you're playing it. I'm just getting crazy playing this game.
Maybe
is that what you've been doing?
I did a little bit. Got a couple dumbbells down there.
One dumbbell, clicking the X in the other.
You don't have to click X. If you hit Y or triangle, there's move on to the next sentence.
The auto scroll.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm just hanging out. Sorry, I'm gonna get so swollen and beat the shit out of you when you say you didn't play the game. Polish T with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Netflix cancels its best TV, Mindhunter, Glow. Yeah, $18.99 or whatever the fuck that was called. Fucking Lost at Sea. Opening the mystery box.
I'm so annoyed by that show. I want to watch $18.99 and then I know they canceled it, so I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
That's
how everyone feels about Warrior. No one wants to watch Warrior.
Warrior finishes on a good note.
You should still watch Warrior.
Yeah, missing out on some of the best fights.
Mindhunter rules. There you go. Also watch Hubie Halloween. If you want to watch something on Netflix, go watch Hubie Halloween. Celebrate Halloween by watching Hubie Halloween. There's a scene in the beginning where he drinks a bunch of soup out of a thermos and then just projectile vomits while he's riding a bike, and it's great.
Sounds amazing.
You know what else we can put on the audience for getting canceled? Scavenger's Reign, because that's also on Netflix, and we've recommended it multiple times.
Yeah, that was also really good.
Fuck you, HBO Max.
I don't think it got. Did it get canceled?
Yeah, Max canceled it.
Yeah, HBO Max canceled it. I don't know if anything's been made of it over on Netflix, but yeah, I don't know. What what show has Netflix taken and then continued for us to keep?
Oh,
Expanse.
the fake. No, Netflix.
No, that was Amazon.
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix did the what was the
Netflix did
it was
the
like the
Destroyer
Lost one where the
Dreams.
Manifest, was that what it was called? Where the plane.
That Idris Elba joint? No, that was
You're thinking of Hijack.
yeah, Hijack. Yeah.
What was there's like an airplane show. An airplane takes off and then lands, and it's like 15 years later or something, and everyone on the flight's like, what the fuck? That continued at Netflix, and Cobra Kai continued at Netflix.
Oh, but that okay, all right. That was taken from YouTube and continued at Netflix though. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't like canceled off YouTube. They bought it.
I always forget YouTube tried to do original shows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Manifest was on what channel?
Was that
before
like
Netflix?
YouTube Red or whatever? I think, right?
Yeah.
It started like the YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
it started
wasn't
on YouTube
free on
Red.
YouTube. You had to like subscribe to the fancy YouTube. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, this is the 10th time this podcast where we say something and we're like, we don't actually know.
Google.
We don't know any of this
You
stuff.
know what I do know though is the third season of From just started yesterday.
Of what? Third season of
From.
I don't know what From is.
Spooky show starring Harold Piernow from Lost and Romeo and Juliet. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
But it's on MGM Plus, which nobody subscribes to.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this streaming service. MGM Plus.
They changed the name. It was on what the fuck was it on From before? From how do I Google just from TV show? When did it start on?
First off, you gotta change your name to a better name. From also, I believe in Doo Man says it's Lost but better. IMO. How do I fucking ban someone just deeply from ever commenting?
Marty's gonna come beat your ass, not mine.
You believe in yeah, I've been lifting weights during Metaphor ReFantazio. You better watch out.
From was on. I've already forgot Epix, EPIX before they renamed it to MGM Plus.
These are all
okay. I do remember Epics as a
on
thing,
different
but
shows.
Yeah. But now it's MGM Plus because that's easier to remember than Epix.
No Slow-Mo, honestly, with a great point. They should have just called it Morph, which is from backwards. And honestly, if you Google Morph, MORF, probably nothing popping up.
Yeah,
That's
just
just
that
like
and Wolverine's best friend.
Morph. Wolverine loves Morph.
Monkey Dave says, can we blame post-COVID exhaustion instead of the audience not showing up? It's the same problem you guys have been dragging the games industry through. No, I'm still blaming you. You can't blame COVID for everything. Sorry.
Yeah. I blame COVID for it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
your closet door is broken before COVID. What do you have to say about that?
It's been broken since I was a child. The door broke when I was in like middle school.
Oh, MetaD makes a really good point for Marty. MGM is MGM backwards.
Fucking takes mega bong grip. What if MGM was actually MGM? If it's upside down, it's like W. I don't know what upside down. Upside down G is.
It's a reference
like a
Wumbo.
6.
Yeah. 6 W6W. And then we gotta go. This isn't a podcast anymore. I believe in Doo Man with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. I also believe in Doo Man. We can say it's a spiritual successor to Lost writing. All right, we'll meet in the middle there. That sounds fine.
Marty's
Lost is so
still
great. Happy
gonna
20th
remember this
birthday,
comment.
by the way, Lost last weekend. Celebrating
When
his
are you
20th
starting your next
birthday.
rewatch?
I was thinking about it. I got a couple other things to go through.
You're
Spooky season, so I'm
always
gonna be
thinking
watching scary stuff. Yeah, maybe I got Over the Garden Wall. Been plugging away at Evil, starring Mike Coulter, Luke Cage himself.
I know you want to finish this podcast, but do you like that show? Because I keep meaning to want to watch
Evil?
it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I liked. It's from the same couple who made The Good Wife and The Good Fight.
Yeah,
which I like both of those in terms. Like, to me, they're like the highest caliber, just procedural. So Evil's just a very basic spook of the week procedural. But the three main characters who go to solve these mysteries are the lady's like a psychologist. There's a guy who's kind of a tech expert, and then there's another guy who believes in demons, and he's pretty much working for the Vatican to be like, all right, you killed your parents in the middle of the night. Are you a sociopath and faking it? Do you actually have schizophrenia, or are you a devil? And every episode, you're like, we got to find out if he's a devil or not. And it's great. And then there's a little overarching story about a group called the 60. And I think they might be into some devil shit, led by Benjamin Linus from Lost himself, Michael Emerson. So let me tell you, when we go full circle, we go full circle.
That does sound intriguing. How many devils have been discovered so far? Spoilers.
There was a pretty gnarly exorcism. And let me tell you, there was 100% devil. Nothing else Sometimes they're like, oh, we can use. Oh, he's just being hacked. His Alexa was hacked, and so it wasn't a devil; it was an Alexa hack. This one, I think this lady was actually. I think we could put her absolutely in the devil, but they exorcised her, so she's good.
Nice. That's what he's there for.
For a spoiler, Casey, she had an exorcism and a Karen popped out.
A Karen popped out.
A Karen, yeah.
Like a little demon Karen.
Yeah,
we're done. We're done. What do you have going on? What should folks check out? We're done. Casey.
Oh, you can find me on the internet at Sigma Gears 9. I should have a review for Elsie dropping soon, a bite-sized review, so check that out. Also, tomorrow, Marty and I should be finishing Devil May Cry 5 finally. If it starts early, I mean, if we finish early, then maybe we'll try some Virgil DLC stuff. But I don't think we have that much left, so like we'll probably be done with it for sure tomorrow. Outside of that,
then starting Metroid next week.
Yeah, Metroid will start in the week after.
Be here.
Yes, I will double check on that. But yes, the next game will be Metroid, the Metroid series. Outside of that, we're doing the movie night on Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday for Phoenix Tier Patreon members. Friday at 6 p.m. Central, which is when this podcast started. But on Friday, we'll be doing our monthly Patreon movie hang for folks at the $50 tier. We'll be watching Borderlands. So
so I'll be participating in that, and then I'll probably jump into my Undertale stream with my fiance afterwards. So join us for
probably
that.
Close to the end of that, right?
Yeah, we have to be. Like we were trying to finish it last week, and it just went on for a little too long.
I think everyone's always like it's crazy short, but I think that crazy short's like 8 hours, which while streaming is still probably more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's it for me.
Yeah, Nick, what about you?
I'm working on my next Unpack script for the week after next. Our PAX West stuff is finally ready to go. So you'll be seeing the first one on Friday and then the second one on Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. KC's featured in that too, along with Jesse.
Oh yeah.
I think myself at some points I just get yelled at, but it's fine. And then other than that, I probably won't be on any streams this weekend, and then we'll see whether I'm back home or here in Nebraska for another week next week. Stay tuned.
Cool. And then tomorrow we mentioned earlier we're going to have a sponsored Shadows of Doubt stream. Shadows of Doubt is entering 1.0, and Yahtzee's going to be playing it with a partner. The time is still a little TBD because Yahtzee has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so we're kind of working around that. It now might be from 3 to 5 Central. But stay tuned for that. And then of course Devil May Cry in the evening. And then Friday we have Devheads at the normal time. The crew will be there. But Friday we also have a cheeky early little stream. I think Jack and I are going to be hopping on a stream 9 a.m. Central. Playing the opening 2 hours of Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Nice.
On Friday. So there you go. We got new Zelda. People love Zelda. They just they chant on the street. They stand on the street corners and they chant. They scream Zelda's name because they're very excited to play as her. I'm so excited, guys! It comes out tonight.
That game is a full $60, right?
Fuck out of here! Why are you even asking it like that? That's a full $60.
How are you gonna play that and Metaphor?
One step at a time. I'm gonna get so buff, both my hands can do it.
You're gonna play one of those games in each hand is what you're gonna do.
Hell yeah, brother.
Freaking Jesse S in chat just showed up and says, and it's not a sequel. Can we just ask this question real quick to chat?
What?
Chat.
No.
Is Echoes of Wisdom a sequel to what is it? What was the last one? The last baby doll face Link game?
Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening.
No.
No, it's not a sequel.
No, I would say there are Tears of the Kingdom is a sequel to Breath of the Wild. Majora's Mask is a sequel to Ocarina of the Time. And some of the handheld games are sequels to each other, but most Zelda games, I would say, are not sequels.
Like story sequels.
He's still upset he got fact checked during the scavenger hunt.
Oh, okay. Is this what that's about? I didn't realize
Jack had me fact check him in the video in case he was very upset.
It's fine.
You know what?
Is it though?
Find a nice, comfortable hill to die on. That's what I say. They'll just roll over and die. But yeah, thank you everyone watching live, hanging out, listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. So for Nick, Casey, and Eric, this was Marty. This was Firelink, episode number 38. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.